Brodes Media.
The Eagles pissed me off. Let me tell you about something that doesn't piss me off, and that is my great friends over at Camden Apothecary. Philly fans, when you're choosing a dispensary, you want three things: convenience, quality, and fair prices. And Camden Apothecary checks all the boxes. Located just minutes over the Ben Franklin Bridge with ample free parking space, Camden Apothecary is built for fans on the go. Their team prioritizes your experience, so you're not just another customer, you are part of the community. And the products always top quality. You're getting the best cannabis around at prices that are all actually fair. No gimmicks, no inflated numbers, just the real deal. Whether it's pre-game, post-game, or any day in between, Camden Apothecary is the stop every Philly sports fan should be making. Convenient, friendly, fair. Camden Apothecary. Cannabis done right for fans 21 and older. Tell them Brodes sent you for 10% off. Disgusting. Disgusting. Just like the spit that just flew out of my damn mouth. Gross. The Giants blow. There was more spit there, by the way. The Giants blow! This team just lost to Spencer Rattler. You know what that looked like a team to me? You know what it looked like? I can't even talk because my brain is all disformed because I had to watch the Phillies lose in the NLDS on an error. And I mean, I was numb half the time watching this football game. And there's not many games where the Eagles become secondary. Once every 50 years, if that. So I'm watching the game as I'm trying to pay attention to the Phillies with their life on the line. And I see it going back and forth, back and forth. I figured at some point the Eagles would settle in. This was pathetic. You got out-coached. You got outworked. Makuba doesn't know how to tackle. Bigsby has Nick Sirianni dropping F-bombs in slow motion 3 times on the sidelines. So then we throw out A.J. Dillon. Then he fumbles the football, and he also has a horrendous, and I mean horrendous, opportunity to get the ball off of a kick. It's a joke. It looks like a team that's not prepared. This falls on coaching. Before we even get to the players, yes, there was no Jalen Carter. Yes, there was no Landon Dickerson, and that Burns-Thoat matchup made me vomit. Holy hell. We know about Nolan Smith. We know guys are banged up. This is the Giants. And look at their wide receivers. They were dealing with some big-time issues. No excuses. And this is my fear. Whenever you have a big meeting, and Saquon, AJ, Jalen, they can downplay that meeting all they want. Whenever you have a meeting, and the response is a loss, it gets tight. It gets tense. It gets uncomfortable. It gets more toxic. And I'm a Jalen guy. I thought Jalen sucked. When there is a busted coverage to come out of the half, and you're trying to get yourself back in this football game and put yourself in the driver's seat, let's say, you can't miss Devontae Smith. And the interception can't happen. Now, for the 1,000th time, Dan Orlovsky is ripping on Twitter. They're in the gun, and Saquon, where he's lined up, tells you what the play is going to be, run or pass-wise. It's way too predictable. So obviously there are tells that are making it extremely difficult for the offense to be successful. That sequence right around the end of the third quarter where Saquon is getting suffocated at the line of scrimmage, loss of downs, loss of yards, loss of yards, loss of yards. Come on, man. Come on. So, I mean, it starts with the coaching. But I'm also disappointed in the play of Jalen and the play of some of the guys on the team, right? I watched Jahad Campbell with a lazy attempt to lay the wood on their quarterback right around the first down marker. He half-assed it. I saw Adoree Jackson half-ass it all game long. Ringo stinks! Ringo stinks! Get him off my football team now! Ringo gave up on a play where the receiver he was covering went to the ground. Nobody touched him. And here's Ringo fixing his gloves, doing it all like, damn, almost had him. He did one of those. He did the, man, I was close. The guy gets up and gets an extra couple of yards because he's not paying attention. Put your damn hands on his back and at least stop the play. Here he is. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. Doesn't look like a team that's prepared. In my eyes, this goes on Nick Sirianni, Patullo, and I'm disappointed in Vic Fangio as well. You can't have that team move downfield as consistently as they did against you. It was nonstop. It was way too easy. They were just slicing you up nonstop. I think a lot of that was just flat out, they wanted it more than you. They ran tough. They ran hard. They ran with a purpose. They wanted to run you over. Didn't look like the Eagles even wanted to be out there. And it's funny, everyone looked at that loss against Denver with the quick turnaround on Thursday night as some sort of positive, some sort of good thing. Well, they can just get into the next game. Don't sit on it. No. See, it doesn't allow for you to truly absorb issues. It doesn't allow for you to really look yourself in the mirror. You turn the page so quickly that you just push forward as if the debacle against Denver wasn't as big of a deal because, well, you have another game to focus on. You're going to face a division opponent. You're going on the road. See, it was a bad thing. And now they have extra time, I guess, in theory, to let both of them marinate. But this is a bad football team. A bad football team. And it starts with Sirianni. We do this every time. Whenever he gets to choose more of his staff, whenever he's the top dog, it's bad. It's bad. And we've seen them handle adversity before and get themselves out of it. I don't know if it's something that you can do every season. I don't know if you can play with fire like this. And another part of this, too, just full transparency, is the offensive line is awful. The offensive line, I don't know if there was a toll on their body physically. How many times do we say, well, Saquon Barkley had 2K rushing yards, and with the 2K or chasing it down last year, and then you add what he did in the playoffs, and we go, yeah, he's probably going to have some sort of impact, or there's going to be some sort of correlation to maybe a down year this year because of how explosive in the carries and the usage rate last season. Maybe, just maybe, we should apply that to the O-line. Because this O-line looks like Swiss cheese. This O-line, we are so naive to the reality of offensive line play in the National Football League because ever since I was born, it's just straight up answers for the most part. You have a left tackle forever. The next left tackle comes in, you're set. The next left tackle comes in, you're set. The next right tackle is here, boom. The center, boom. It's just locked and loaded. Let's go to war. This offensive line is in shambles. And if I'm going to call out the coaching staff, Jeff Stoutland, he doesn't get off scot-free. Listen, if we're going to sit here and say this guy's a magician, he can get everybody right, he finds answers, and he gets them playing as one, as a unit all the time, when they're not, let's go! Let's go! And I get it. You don't want to be relying on Thoat, right? But we've seen them have to rely on backup options and get way better production than this. But how much of this is a problem that Kevin Patullo has a stick up his ass and doesn't know how to call plays and doesn't know anything about anything when it comes to offense because this offense is horrible. So if the other team is sniffing out what's coming, well, they know. If the other team knows, I mean, how much is that? It's crazy. Oh, man, this week it's going to be hell. This upcoming week. And they deserve every bit of noise and every bit of speculation that's about to get thrown their way. Because sitting at 4-2 after 4-0, we have big personality meetings set up. You don't just accidentally have a big personality meeting. And every time they grab a screenshot of A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith chilling on that bench, it says something. You could see something in their eyes. You could see something in their body language. There's just something off. I don't think they believe in what the coaches are selling. That's what I think is happening here, and that's where it starts. I think they're losing the locker room, not because they're bad people, not because they're awful, this and that. They're awful football-wise, just with offense and scheme and creativity from that aspect, but I'm not saying they're awful leaders. I think Nick Sirianni is still a good leader, but you got to sell them something that they can see the vision. I don't think they see Nick Sirianni's vision this season with this offense. This is Bush League. It's straight up Bush League. Go talk to Giants fans about this defensive coordinator. I saw one good drive. One good drive. And there were some nice throws in that one good drive. It was the one that ended up with the 4 or 5 tush pushes in a row. They finally get in. They took the lead maybe 17-13 in that range at that particular time. This defensive coordinator, there's people up in New York every day that says so many things that I can't say right now on this platform about that defensive coordinator and how much he is dumb. Let's just say that. Dumb as nails, if that's even a saying. I don't know what is a saying anymore. My brain doesn't work. I am broken. We had 3 games here in Philadelphia today. Flyers, 0-1. Whoop-de-damn-do. Eagles, you got embarrassed by the Giants on a short week. The Giants are bad, man. They're a bad football team. And they just backhand slapped you. Oh, you are just a child. Just a child. Think about back in the day, all right, when you were watching movies in, I don't know, the 90s and the 80s where bullying was a thing in movies or whatever. I don't know. Just bear with me here. And you're in high school and the senior is kicking dirt on the freshman and picking on him at recess. That was you. You got picked on. You got picked on by a bully, but the bullies are nobodies, and you're just letting them spit in your face, punch you in the face, kick you in the teeth, and you're just accepting it over and over and over again. Your face is getting popped back. Your eyes are bloodshot. There's blood pouring out of your nose, and you're not swinging back. You're just taking it and accepting it, and it's to this team. Brian Dable, the guy is in shambles for his job security to the point where he's going to the blue tent begging, and I mean begging, the doctors to let the guy out, which is an awful look, by the way, because if the guy is injured, I care about his health way more than a football game, but he's so desperate for his job. He's banging on the blue tent. Get him out! I can't survive without him! And they're kicking your rear end. Oh, my God, it was so bad. I mean, at times I'm laughing. It's the I'm in so much pain, I can't even comprehend it. I'm laughing, and it hurts type of game. Where do you go from here? This I feel we're at the 2-2 bye week. The 2-2 bye week, which is funny, and I'm referencing last season when I say that. I thought the second half against the Rams, where AJ had 100-plus yards and they had a big turnaround, I thought that was their bye week. And that was what they did last year during the bye to get themselves right, to figure it out offensively. And from there, boom, they'd flourish. Now, here I go again. I'm getting so out there that maybe this is the bye week. Every single time, maybe this is the bye week. Maybe this is the bye week. Maybe this is what helps them get on the right path. Maybe this is what helps them, put their foot on the gas and become the team that they're supposed to be. And normally, the reason why I bring this up, normally, Whenever you have to throw darts at the dartboard hoping it's a turning point, well, maybe this is, maybe that is, maybe that is, maybe this is, maybe that is. That means it's not coming. And I'm not there yet because it is early in the season, but I've been here before where if you wonder and guess if you can somehow be better because of X, Y, and Z, and then you don't consistently get the results, maybe you're just not going to be better, and this is who you are, and this is part of the 2025 season. But it looks ugly, it looks brutal, and it looks gross. It doesn't look like they care for one another. And when that's Nick Sirianni's strength, that the guys love one another, there's relationships that are strong, you're supposed to be a brotherhood. Well, when there's not that, that's the foundation of what he does. That's sort of the starting point. If you can't even get to the starting point of the formula, then you're toast. And right now, all the biggest personalities are side-eyeing one another to the point where it feels to me, just looking at context clues, that Saquon Barkley, because nobody else will sit in the same room together, has to go out of his way to make sure they sit down before this Giants week. And this was the response, guys. This was the response. Every time the response to something that is so big and should be significant is flat, you don't get that many cracks at it. You get one if you're lucky, two, maybe. But at some point, it just becomes noise that goes in one ear and out the other because they already sort of sat down and aired out all the problems. Well, after a loss like this, what do you got more to air out? You already aired it out. If you get what you're looking for after you air it out once, then, hey, there's something cool about that we could buy into. But if it becomes flat and it looks the same, because let's be honest, we've seen this type of game before. Okay, that's a good drive. And then you go 3 and out, and then you have a 3 and out, and then you have whatever you call that Saquon Barkley drive, I guess I call it, at the end of the third quarter. Well, I mean, it looks the same. So it didn't do anything when everybody sat down and talked. So now you can't run it back. You can try. But then you're probably trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. And that might be where we are right now. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what helps me out during this very difficult time? That is, of course, my friends over at Amelio Cigars. Old school roots, new school attitude, locally owned. Third generation made at Fabrica Oveja Negra in Nicaragua. True story. I was out back. I was lighting one up and I was enjoying every single damn puff. My neighbor, you can kind of see his front door from where my one part of my backyard is. He goes, dude, my nostrils are ready. I said, come on over. I gave him an Amelio. We both sat down in my backyard and just chopped it up. And he went, holy hell. This is the best cigar to ever touch my lips. And I said, dude, I know. It's the only cigar to smoke. An Amelio cigar is the only cigar to smoke. So do me a favor. If you are a cigar smoker, go to the link down below in the description. You can use promo code BRODES10 at checkout for 10% off. Let's say you're going golfing with the boys. Boom. Let's say you're out back and your neighbor wants to come over. Boom. Let's say you're at a family party. Boom. You could be the beauty that hooks everybody up. And then they'll be like, you're the man. You're the man. How in the world did you find out about this? You say, well, Brodes told me. He knows about his cigars. So many options for you. So many different options for you on the website. Amelio Cigars. Make sure you check it out today. Oh, I'm fascinated to hear what Nick Sirianni is going to say throughout the week. Oh, man. People are tagging me in this A.J. Brown is wide open when he threw it to Jahan Dotson. I mean, Jalen Hurts had a bad game. I don't know what to tell you. Jalen Hurts had a bad game. And where is A.J. on this play that everybody's pointing out? Where is A.J.? There he is. Okay, he's on the right side. Wide open. Yeah, he was open. He was open. I don't know why Jahan Dotson would be the guy to look to there over A.J. Brown. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what's going on. AJ had a bad game. Does that mean he's the worst quarterback to ever live? No. I don't know why I need to be getting tagged in it to this degree. It was bad. This whole team right now is out of sorts. It's out of sync from top to bottom. There is something structurally wrong. That is my phrase that has been glued into the back of my mind, and I keep coming to it. Every time I try and digest this, or if someone asks me, Brodes, what do you think's going on? Or what are you seeing out there? There is supposed to be building blocks to get this to where it should be by game 17, by week 18, right? It is so discombobulated. It's almost as if you're playing the game Jenga and someone pulls one of the pieces out and the whole thing comes crashing down. Someone pulled the piece out and right now we're watching it tumble. That's what it looks like to me. Maybe we need to give them more of an opportunity to work themselves out of this, considering they did 1 year ago. But I just feel like that's a very hard thing to do with an inexperienced offensive coordinator. Because one of the reasons why I loved Kellen Moore so much, the idea of Kellen Moore, was there's a difference between never calling plays before and being an offensive coordinator on the sidelines in Dallas. Whether we mock Dallas for being bums or not is a different story. There's pressure, there's experience, there's knowledge, there's a lot that you can chew on. The fix has to go through Nick Sirianni and Kevin Patullo from a schematic level. If they haven't gotten to it yet, what are you waiting for? We're deep enough into the season now, even though that there's plenty of games left, that we should see progress. It's about week after week after week, seeing them grow, seeing them add, seeing the repertoire sort of expand. I'm not seeing any growth. And every time Kevin Patullo speaks, he goes, well, what the other team was doing sort of dictated how we were going to do things. Well, let me counter that for a second here. Aren't you supposed to be the aggressor? Isn't that what you stated to me previously? We want to be the aggressors. We want to dictate things. And I understand you got to counter what other teams want to do, blah, 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 blah. But hear me out, right? When you play the Chiefs in their prime, let's say, you see what Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid, what they do, and you try to match up against that, but the Chiefs are going to do what they do because they're great. And then you got to have the other team figure out a way to adjust to your greatness, right? And then Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes, they have to counter this. They're awful with being the aggressor, setting the tone, and sort of establishing your identity, which has the ability to be great. They can't even do that. I feel these great teams, other teams adjust to what you do. It seems like they're so, how do I say this the right way? Because I'm getting a bit discombobulated, but I almost feel as if when you face a really talented team in this league that's a juggernaut, the Bills, for example, the Bills do what the Bills do. It's on you to figure out a way to stop it. I don't think that's the way they go. You have to find a way to really crush Saquon. And it's so easy to because all their play designs are tells, which is a problem. But I feel they're so focused on, all right, we got to do this and that because the other team does this and that and the other team does X, Y, and Z. We got to no. Do what makes you great and make the other team have to stop you. Take their soul. That's what they did last season. They wore you down in the trenches, and you took their soul. Everyone knew what was coming. Was it a surprise last year that they wanted to run the ball with Saquon Barkley? Did it shock the world that they would head into a game thinking we're going to put it in Saquon's hands 35 times, and you can't do a damn thing about it? Where's that attitude? Where's that aggression? They don't have it. They're too laissez-faire. And there's no creativity at all either. So that's a problem too. But that's what I'm trying to say. It's unreal. It really is. I thought when I saw Saquon early get a couple of runs that maybe they were going to try and find their identity again. But if you asked the leaders of this team, what's the identity? Forget the leaders. What if I asked you? How would you define this team? I don't have a word. It's week 5, week 6. What are they, 4-2 now? It's week 6. It's supposed to start at week 6. I don't know what and who they are. I have no clue. I can't even pretend to give you an answer. I really can't. They're not a physically dominant team in the trenches the way they once were. They're not a good running team. They definitely don't throw the football very well. What are they? If you could choose anything, because I have to find some answer, I do think when Q is out there, did I mention Q got injured? Q, Coop, Bond, Carter. There are times where I think they could bring a physical presence and they swarm you and they tackle you, and their defense is clearly more of the face of the team than anything else, which is nuts considering the firepower they have on offense. But if it's that broken where these type of names can't contribute at all, then it is a schematic structure problem. That's what it keeps going back to. Keeps coming back to watch Jackson Dart with the half of the eye black. Come on, man. I got to watch Scattaboo run you over. It's pathetic. Where's the pride? It's like there was zero pride in it. Here's Lane Johnson. We were winning the first 4 games, but not dominating. Lane Johnson said the Eagles' offense has become too predictable. He says they have spurts where it works, but then defenses figure out what they're going to do. He said last year they did more RPO that made it harder for opposing defenses. So, and that was something I was trying to get you there, because it's very complex, right? It's very detailed and layered. If you want to be the aggressor, do what you want to do. Like last year, everyone knew you were going to run the ball. But then there are times like when Spags sells his soul to stop the run, then other things open up because of that. And then it's on Patullo and Sirianni to get creative and find answers off of that. So it's layered, but I want the starting point to be you dictate how the game is going to be played. From there, we can start picking it apart. But now here's the right tackle essentially admitting that there is a problem, right? Your right tackle Hall of Famer is literally staring at everybody in the face right now in the locker room, shirtless with 6 mics staring at his beard. Okay, I'm just describing the picture I'm seeing. We are not adjusting to what the defenses figure out what we're trying to do. Okay. I want you to let that sink in. Cam Scattaboo recorded a career high in rushing yards and touchdowns. Jackson Dart recorded a career high in rushing yards and passer rating. Humphrey recorded the 3rd highest receiving yards of his career. Wan'Dale Robinson recorded the 4th most receiving yards of his career. Come on. I don't want to ever see Ringo out there again. At one point, we had Adoree Jackson and Ringo out there at the same time. These guys are both stiffs. The Ringo experiment is finished. Do we still have to play around with that nonsense and pretend that his skill set is intriguing and pretend that his size is interesting at that position? The guy is awful. The guy can't play. And we love Howie Roseman. But the decision to take a calculated risk on Ringo because you were excited about him being in the room for years, studying behind Slay, watching Quinyon Mitchell last season, it was a big, fat F-. And Isaiah Rodgers going to the Vikings and him having some of the weeks that he had so far this season is a big-time smack in the face as well. That was a monster miscalculation. And the second I saw Quinyon Mitchell on the sidelines with the snow hat on, I realized real quick, this is gross. It doesn't help when all the other guys out there just don't feel like tackling. I can't get over Makuba's missed tackle, Adoree Jackson by the goal line, the whole thing. Just an undisciplined team, a team that doesn't have fire, a team that doesn't have a spark, a team that doesn't have any juice. Like, here's New York Sports Talk Radio. Can't believe my eyes after watching the Giants embarrass the Eagles in primetime. They are so baffled. They are in disbelief. Neighbors goes down. He's an unbelievable. Could you imagine what he would have done? Oh, my God. He would have had 685 yards. He would have had 1,000 yards in one game. I swear to God, would have been the NFL record, the most yards in the history ever, and no one will ever top it. 4,000 yards in one game. That's what would have happened. But there's people up there in New York that are as much as we are shocked and numb from what happened from a Philly sports standpoint tonight, They're that probably times 8,000. Right? They just want it to look competent. That's their goal. So I want to put it in perspective on where they are as a franchise and as a fan base. They just don't want to get embarrassed every day. They just want to put together a plan that looks like real football. They want to look like a team that can move the ball a little bit and not go 3 and out. If they get close and kick a field goal, they're happy, right? If they lose, but they lose by 6, it's okay. If it's not so bad that they have to turn the TV off in the middle of the third quarter, that's a win. That team whooped your ass. Belt the ass. This response will tell us everything we need to know. And it's hard to even process their next game because it's so far away. It's Thursday. They play the 19th. So 10 days from now, they play. Eagles, Vikings, 1 o'clock. If it's another dud, and if it's another extremely confusing game and you're questioning everything, then they ain't got it. And I'm already starting to lean that way. It doesn't take me much to break because I can smell BS. I can smell when something ain't right. I can smell when the detector's going off. You remember I played here before a little fraud alert? And it was this big buzzer. And it was fraud. I'm leaning close to thinking we may be in that territory. Okay? Trying to see. I want to get comments, man, from these coaches. I want to get comments from A.J. Brown. Ringo on the PI call. Not a fan of it at all. I wasn't either, but shut your mouth. You have no say, Ringo. Ringo's complaining about the PI in the back of the end zone, which, again, was a terrible call, but oh, man, kick him out of the league. Kick him out of the league. F-. Lane Johnson hammering on predictability in his post-game remarks. Whew. Wow. Nick Sirianni preaches tough detail together. And this team is the exact opposite. That's from Anthony DeBona. He continues that this team is soft, disorganized, and independent. Whew. See what I'm saying? And I think that's a perfect way to kind of tie a bow on this because what the synopsis of this entire program is, it starts with the coaching. There should be a blueprint. Well, their blueprint is just out of sorts, and it ain't working. We're all sad, but at least I can make you happy with the chance to make some money. What are you saying, Brodes? DraftKings. Your season, your shot. The NFL season is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. From first touchdown scorer to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. Take a look at the Sunday slate. You got college football, MLB playoffs as well. New customers, this one is for you. Bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Brodes. That's code Brodes to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-8789-9. Nope. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Budo Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Fees may apply in Illinois. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. This is a limited time offer. All right. That's going to do it. Go Birds. What a joke.